Hello again, and welcome back to Right Man in the Wrong Place. My name is Luke Tatum. I react to music. I'm so glad that you are here, choosing to spend some of your time with me. Today, we are going to do a random drawing. Um, my grandfather passed away. We're getting ready to leave and be out of state for a while. I'm trying to get a bunch of things done here as quickly as I can. I don't want to sit here and agonize over choices, so I'm just hitting record and I'm just going to do some random drawings to see what song to react to. So I don't know yet, but let's check it out. I'm going to spin the wheel. There are currently 99 entries in the request form. You can make a request on that form in the description box below if you would like. And more popular requests end up getting chosen earlier, right? Because there's multiple entries. So that's cool. All right, let's see what we get. All right, we're gonna listen to Ozzy Osbourne, "Gods of Rock and Roll." Give me just a moment to get that set up. I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. This is going to be Ozzy Osbourne, also with Billy Morrison and featuring Steve Stevens. I don't really know who Billy Morrison or Steve Stevens are. I probably should. I'm not particularly good at knowing everybody's names, but this is a request from my nephew. So thank you very much, nephew, for checking out for checking out my request form and for submitting this so I can do this reaction. Of course, I know Ozzy Osbourne, I know Black Sabbath both reasonably well, but I've never heard this song. I'm excited to check it out, and I appreciate you taking the time. Um, yeah, so this came out in 2025, which is, of course, the year that Ozzy Osbourne passed away. So rest in peace, Ozzy. Um, yeah, I don't know what else to say other than let's check it out. It's called Gods of Rock and Roll. Let's go. Well, that's cool. Beautiful cinematography. I don't know if that's a violin or a cello or what have you, but it's a handheld viola, violin.
Sometimes I feel like I'm so empty. Sometimes I feel like I'm alive. So many voices talking to me. Please God, just let my mind survive. I see the moon and tears start falling from my eyes. Will I make it through the night? I guess tonight.
Man, what a powerful thing, knowing what we know now. I don't know because I don't keep up with Ozzy Osbourne as much as, you know, his diehard fan base, right? I don't know. I don't keep up with a lot of bands or really any bands that much. I work and I enjoy music when I want to listen to music, but I'm not someone who tracks every little thing. I never watch the shows that the Osbournes were in or anything. So I don't know a lot, but knowing what we know now, talking about living through the night and those sorts of things, that is such a crazy thing to be singing the same year that you pass away, right? And I'm recording this as we're getting ready to go out of town for a funeral, right? And so it's a very kind of close to home sort of a thing to be singing about that, to be thinking about that. Um, this idea, let my mind survive. It's kind of an interesting way to talk about this, right? Because you could sing "Let me survive," right? But let my mind survive. It's like, look, I could be physically, battered and broken. I could have, loss of an arm, loss of a leg, debilitated in some way, but I want to be able to, think and and ideate and communicate things uh, because what a rich experience it is to be alive, to be in the world and get to experience all the wonderful new things that happen from day to day, right? We live kind of out in the woods, and every day is different, right? That whole stoic idea that you can't step in the same stream twice, right? uh, Everything is different day to day. You can get into a negative headspace and think about how negative, or how samey life is. I clock in, I clock out, I sleep, I clock in, I clock out, I sleep. Life is just a series of repetition, but it's not. You have to stop and appreciate what is different. You have to find the richness of the world, even if you live in a concrete jungle, whatever. You've got to find that richness in life and cling to that so that you can have this kind of perspective, right? Okay, let's keep listening. It really, really cool. Really cool. I like this drummer. The moon. Oh, wow. Okay, so seeing the moon and crying, it's kind of like the you can think of life as a day, right? A sunrise is birth, and the waxing and the waning of the sun, right? The waxing and waning of the moon. You could liken that to the life cycle of a human being if you wanted to, right? And so seeing the moon, it means like you can see the end. It could mean that. This God-shaped hole line, not certainly the first person to say God-shaped hole, but I'm going to get back to it. I found myself another God-shaped hole, right? What does that mean? Well, I think that has to mean the kind of questioning of what comes next, right? If you're thinking about mortality, if you're thinking about passing away for whatever reason, then you have to have those questions of what lies beyond this plane of existence that we live in. There's many answers to that question, but thinking of some sort of extra sensory, extra something beyond what you can perceive directly is very natural. It seems to be a part of that in every person, even atheists, right? You're thinking about the vastness of possibility of what could be. You can't, no matter who you are, you can't understand all the intricacies of creation, evolution, life, death, rebirth, whatever you believe. You can't possibly perceive all of that. You can't possibly understand all of that. And so no matter whether you're religious or not, there's a certain element of wonder at how rich and vast and complex all of this stuff is that conspires in some way or another to bring about your life, right? It's crazy. It's crazy. And contemplating those kind of things, that's part of being a human. So I got a lot to say about this song unexpectedly. It's good.
Will someone pray for me? Pray to save my soul for me. The only gods, the gods of rock and roll. The gods of rock and roll. Believe me, don't try to understand. Just watch the shadows creeping up the walls. Stay with me.
Right? Shadows creeping up the wall. What does that mean? Well, as the light gets lower, the shadows get up the wall, right? Like if your light's down here, it's going to shine it's hard for me to do this backwards, but your shadow is going to get longer if you have a lower light, right? So the end of the day, either as the moon is setting or the sun is setting, whatever, the shadows are going to get taller. The shadow of a person standing is going to get taller. And so, it's kind of interesting, right? Midday is when your shadow is the shortest. Evening or morning is when it's the longest. And so, again, it's this sort of there's several meanings there, right? What does it mean to have your shadow be extended? Well, it could mean you're having a lot more negative thoughts. It it could just be a cool lyric. But it could mean that we're having a lot more, negativity. It's easy to feel like your shadow is bigger than you. But without you, there is no shadow, right? I'm not getting into Jungian philosophy and the shadow in that sense, unless I hear something else that makes me need to get into that. But very, very cool. These are very beautiful lyrics. And I do want to speak on this gods of rock and roll, but I think I'll wait to do that. So we're just gonna keep going for now.
The walls stay with me. Don't wanna be alone. I need you as another nighttime falls. I see the moon and now the fear is calling me. Will I make it through the night?
It's cool seeing all the studio work here.
Will be another nightmare just for me. I found myself another God-shaped hole. Will someone pray for me? Pray to save my soul for me. The only gods, the gods of rock and roll. The gods of rock and roll. With all the songs and dancers, still looking for the answers. I guess I've lost my self-control.
I love, when Metallica brought in a full symphony orchestra, right? When bands do this kind of thing, sometimes it hits and sometimes it doesn't, right? It's not to say that in every case that I've loved it. When Metallica did that, gonna blank out on the name because of course I am, but that song, whatever song that was, gosh dang it, so good. It's so good. This is really good. The strings, the warmth that it kind of brings to this subject matter is really, really nice. It's a nice touch. It could have been a great song without them, but it's a better song with them, I think. And so let's talk about that. The only gods, the gods of rock and roll thing. You can look at that and say, well, this is an atheistic sort of position. I think you could also look at this as linked to that God shaped hole line, just that there's a richness and a spiritual experience that comes from the decoration of time, aka music, right? This the subtleties, the complexities, you close your eyes, you're in the song, you can get a transcendent experience from that. You ever had chills spread across your body as you heard something that just resonated with you? Not every single person in the world is going to get that experience, right? But you do, and there's a reason. You may never figure out what the reason is, but it speaks to you. That chord, that progression of notes in that tempo with those instruments played at that time and mastered in that way speaks to you for some reason. It's not to say that you can articulate it or even should try, but it's there's something about that. And so doesn't stuff like that sort of demand that there is something? I'm not telling you to be religious or not, right? I'm not religious. I'm what you might call spiritual, but not religious. But there's something to that. Does that not demand the existence? Does that not beget the existence of something that supersedes physical reality. It's worth thinking about. It's cool, man.
I guess I've lost my self-control. With all these crazy voices, I'm running out of choices. I need you now, I need you now. The gods of rock and roll.
Ooh. Nice. What a cool solo. I like the brass in here. Okay, I'm gonna stop it one more time. I have no idea, copyright sensitivity, those sorts of things. This feels like kind of a celebration of life, It feels like it's got a sort of uplifting vibe to the song, even though the lyrics kind of have that open-ended questioning nature, right? It's like the "I need you" stuff. "I need you here for me. I need, please be here for me." That sort of those lines that is followed by "the gods of rock and roll." And so we're talking about, having music to enrich your final years, final moments, what have you, right? It's like what a cool thing that is to be able to listen to incredible performances, incredible compositions, incredible arrangements from incredible musical minds. That's I guess like that's the decoration of time, right? It's beautiful. And this song is great. I mean, it's really good. It's very, very it's nice. I feel like I need a better word than that, but it's very nice, this song.
The gods of rock and roll. The only gods, the gods of rock and roll. The gods of rock and roll.
I know I'm supposed to know who those people are, right? Billy Morrison, guitars and bass. What a cool thing. What a cool video. It's nice to see, the credits and all that. I really, really like that. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed sharing that song with me. That was a lot of fun. Nephew, I'm just saying nephew in this video. Thank you very much for requesting this. I know how much Ozzy means to you, and uh, thanks for sharing your musical passions with me. It's been really, really a lot of fun. This is really good. It's kind of contemplative. It's giving me a lot to think about. Thank you to each and every one of you watching. If you have a request that could come up in one of these random drawings at any time, please go to the request link down in the description box below. It's a Google form, and I'll just do a random drawing. If you want to make sure I get to your request sooner, head on over to Buy Me a Coffee, leave me a donation, or become a member of the channel. I'll be sure to take those extra seriously and get them done a lot faster. But regardless of what level you want to participate, I just appreciate you. Until next time, the right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world, and I will see you then.